Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ecosystem Aces. Gosh, I'm so excited to be joined today by Alan Chhabra. Alan, welcome.
Thanks, Chip, and thanks to the WorkSpan team for including me.
Yeah, just really excited. So, Alan, you're dialing in from Boston. I'm on the other side of the the country here in the Bay Area. And so, first of all, introduction. I'm Chip Rodgers, Chief Partner Officer at WorkSpan. And Alan Chhabra is EVP of Worldwide Partners at MongoDB. Alan, you just last week, 9 years, amazing run.
Yeah, it's MongoDB has been a fantastic company, and 9 years of being overhead. No, I've got a great team that works for me that we've assembled, and I get the chance to speak to you on shows like this. But really, it's to represent our phenomenal team here at Mongo.
Well, it's fantastic. I think Mongo has been such a leader and growing so fast in in the space and data and AI. And AI is changing so much these days. I'd love to start to dive in, but maybe first, Alan, talk a little bit about just kind of what you and your team are up to at Mongo these days.
MongoDB's philosophy since the beginning has been to service the developer, and nothing has changed when it comes to that. Developers, maybe since the early 2000s, the rise of developer is there. Enterprise companies are becoming agile like software startups, and software startups are trying to figure out how to use technologies every day to create new products. And when we've always focused on the developer, good things have happened. And our entire partner strategy is around that. Customer first, figure out who in our customers we work with from a developer perspective, and build partnerships around that, whether it's with the hyperscalers, whether it's with the system integrators, the big guys, the little guys. We invest in smaller boutique partners, whether it's with ISVs, tech partners, resellers, you name it. We actually, based on the trend that we just did around AI, we've launched a program called MAP, which stands for MongoDB AI Applications Program. And the reason we created that program, which brings a lot of the top AI players together, the three hyperscalers, all three of them are in a program, AWS, Azure, Google. I'm not sure they all joined programs together, but they did join ours. Companies like Anthropic, Cohere, Fireworks, and then a bunch of consultancies, including Accenture, are in the program. This program is to help customers figure out what to do with AI. And many would argue that it's easy. Just hit the easy button with AI. And we all know that's not the case. People are confused on where to start. They're confused on the legal, the security, the data sovereignty, which cloud to run on. Should I run on premise? Should I purchase my own hardware? So we wanted to give our customers and those that are new to Mongo a guide, a navigation blueprint on how to navigate AI. And I believe we at MongoDB, when we're here, like what are we up to? We're helping customers figure this out. Today, customers are training models, purchasing GPUs, working with the best in breed of LLM providers out there. But tomorrow, they are going to need to write applications or modernize legacy to use those LLMs. And MongoDB fits nicely in both of those parts of the journey. But if customers don't figure out that journey and how to do it, no one wins. And this is just a giant bubble. So that's what we're mostly up to these days, is building partnerships to help customers navigate the AI journey.
That's really critical, because I think it's there's so much going on in AI, and it's a topic in every boardroom, right? And everyone across and in every line of business is being told, hey, figure out your AI strategy. So there's a lot of need for it, and that's sounds like a great program that Mongo has launched to help folks navigate that.
100%. And it's also the ecosystem. We're a family. there's need in the ecosystem for people to help customers navigate. It's not just give them a PowerPoint, a reference architecture, and some Copilot tooling, and boom, they're ready to go. People, process is security is a critical component of this. So the consultancies, the top consultancy out there, MongoDB is working with so that customers can navigate with people, process, and not just technology. You've seen in some of the earnings from some of the largest GSIs in the world that customers are trying to figure this out. They're worried about scale. They're worried about security. They're worried about the multi-cloud on-premise. Should I purchase my own GPUs or use the hyperscalers? And so expert people and process is just as important in this equation as technology, and partnerships are being built on that. That's why, for example, Accenture is in the MongoDB MAP program, because the GSIs have access to these customers and can guide them. Companies like McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, they have a big place for helping customers figure out how to transform with AI. And then the smaller boutique consultancies that are close to the customer, in country, born in the cloud. MongoDB, by the way, is invested in 6 of them. They also are going to have a big role to play to help customers figure out how to deploy apps using the language models they're training with their data.
So how do you when there's so much, it's the partnering world today is a challenge to begin with, right? Because there's a lot of complexity. You just talked about all the different, there's strategic consultants, there's SI partners, there's other ISVs, there are cloud providers, there's all of the above, but then layer in the AI, just the change in the market with AI, and everyone's trying to figure out, how do you lead the team? Like, how do you as a team think about how do you pull all these pieces together to make sure that you're delivering great value to Mongo customers?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to put the customer first. So MongoDB's got over 50,000 paying customers. And in our stack, we do not just sell a database, it's a developer data platform. It's a platform. We're probably the only database platform that can handle operational, meta, and vector data. And AI, as you know, you don't just train language models on simple tabular data. You train them on videos, pictures, sound files. So the data that most customers are dealing with when it comes to AI is very unstructured. So when I go and ask, and my team goes and asks these 50,000 customers, how do you need help? Certain partners come surface. They're asked for example, Anthropic, great company, great partner. They ask, hey, can you help us figure out how we should use Anthropic with our application fleet? So when you think about partnerships, and not just in the AI space, in the cloud, we all been through the cloud journey to the cloud space, which is still going on, by the way, the AI space, all these different trends. When you think about partnership, is there any partner leaders out there? Think about what your customers want. Which partners do your customers want? Not which partners will give you the best press release. Which partners do your customers want? Which partners will help your customers deploy your products with more satisfaction, which equals stickiness? At that point, you can then tie revenue to that, because if it's sticky and they like it, they're going to purchase more of it. So when I think about the AI trend, whether you call it a bubble or what I call it is, it's going to be a big trend. I think which partnerships do my customers want during this trend? And that's where I have the team focus.
Customer first.
100%. So that's why I also believe, if we're going to go here, I also believe the partnership organization within tech companies like WorkSpan or MongoDB, they need to be as aligned as you can to the sales organization. whether they sit in the sales organization or are closely aligned, because the sales organization is a revenue organization. They care about customer acquisition, customer growth, customer retention. And you need to think about partnerships in all three of those vectors. So when you set up your partner organization within any company, whether it's a startup or a big one, think about how closely it's aligned to sales. And that, I think that's something we've done well at Mongo.
Yeah. Well, and you have a background in sales as well, so natural sort of fit for you, and you sort of already speak the language. I think that's great advice for partner teams, because first of all,
even if you don't have a background in sales, Chip, like,
yeah,
okay, I have a background in aerospace engineering, but unfortunately I forgot about that a long time ago. But whether you have a background in pre-sales, post-sales, sales, marketing, the partner organizations and companies, I think what people really need in their leaderships is someone who can do a jack of all trades. But even if you never have carried a bag before or have run a team of salespeople, if you have the will to do pipeline generation, meaning you're willing to cold call, you're willing to call people and ask for those tough things as a partner leader and the people you hire, you can have this close alignment with sales. You don't have to have a simple, hey, that person comes from sales, they've carried a bag before. So when I advise companies, I say, look for leaders that have the DNA and grit to be willing to call people and ask for things. If they can do that, they're the right type of DNA to run a partner organization or be in a partner organization.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's so true, that you gotta be willing to get in and to connect with people, and then really ask the question, right? Make the hard ask.
Yeah, and if you're always going to do that based on your customer demand, things will work out. My customers are asking for this partnership. My customers are asking for this product. So if you have that confidence, you're willing to go make the tough ask of your partners or your customers.
So what have you seen, with this, the growth of AI, how are you seeing partnerships different than maybe in other industries or prior to that? What's changing with the introduction or with the growth, the explosion of AI these days?
I think there's two sides of this, maybe three. I'll give you three. First, it's extremely competitive. The stakes are high. The dollars being spent is large, and it's very competitive. Okay, so whether the hyperscalers are competing with each other or the LLM providers are also trying to figure out which one's the best model, or people that have a database. Obviously, we have an operational meta and vector database, but there are people that just have vector databases like the Pinecones of the world. There's a competition there. And then customers are trying to figure out, should I even put things in the cloud or run it on premise with my own stacks built on GPU chips? So it's first extremely competitive. Second, customers are concerned and nervous because they do not understand the risks associated with AI. Therefore, when they don't understand, they are unable to take risk past experimentation. So because they're worried about how to use AI, the security, the data sovereignty, the legal, and they're not necessarily sure where in their application fleet they should use it, they're really just experimenting. So experimentation would be the second thing that I see. Heavy competition. Second would be experimentation. Third would be, I still believe the big uptick in applications using AI is ahead of us. Today, most of the effort in the AI space has been on training models making models smarter based on your own data or public data, merging models as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe where it started, it's not like it's not there, but where it's going to explode, I believe, is in all these applications will leverage some piece of AI, whether it's a chatbot or the ability to enterprise search or to deploy a RAG architecture where the application is telling customers what to purchase or what to use, or hey, maybe you should select this one. Even when you ask it a question, it thinks about an answer that's not cookie cutter. So whether it's RAG, chatbot, or enterprise search, applications are going to use AI, and the uptick of those, I believe, is ahead of us. Also, why I also think the uptick of applications ahead of us is the AI makes it easier for you to modernize applications. So many people, many customers are worried about their application fleet that's running on Sybase or on the mainframe. And because the people that have been working on those applications maybe are retiring, or Sybase has become end of life. So in the past, they would try to move those to modern platforms, but the rewrite of the application itself was so daunting, they put it on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
With the advent of AI copilots and tooling, you can rewrite application code from COBOL to Java much easier. So that's why I think that third piece of an uptick of applications, new ones using AI and legacy ones using AI to get there, but also AI ready is ahead of us. I think all three things are coming. And I think that's why if you're in the partner world and you have a piece of the AI equation, it's going to be really exciting over the next year.
So much, so much happening, and an incredible opportunity ahead.
100%. I mean, I think, but with great power comes great responsibility. You got to help the customers navigate through this. It's not just a agile technology play. It's not just, hey, make sure all my products integrate with the popular AI products. It's also help them with what they're worried about. There's risk, legal, security, data sovereignty. So think about it on both vectors. We can help you get there quickly and agilely, but also we're going to help you do it smartly with the proper governance.
So, Alan, let's talk a little bit about you think about the stages of partnering. You come together and build joint solutions together, co-build, and going to market, co-marketing, co-selling. Talk a little bit about how you think, 9 years at MongoDB, you've seen everything. Talk about sort of the philosophy of Mongo for how you think about building solutions together with partners.
I mean, 100% think it's based on customer demand. Do never build something or integrate something if a customer isn't going to use it. You got to take risks. Sometimes you will build before customers are ready for it. Think about, like, we injected our vector capabilities inside of Atlas before the big AI wave. So we were, thanks to our great product leaders, we were ahead of that curve. But I would take a step back. If you're building a partner program and you are a startup or you're a funded Series A, B company, I think you need to think of partnerships as a way to scale faster. So if you think of them the way to scale faster, that's where integrations to other partner products will help you. So think about using, for example, integrating with the marketplaces, the hyperscale marketplace. And WorkSpan is a phenomenal company that allows you to integrate your CRM to the hyperscaler CRM coupled with marketplace to drive co-sell. So that's a way to help you scale. Think about integrating to products that you're adjacent to, that when they buy my widget, they also buy this other widget 80% of the time. If I have a tight integration with that widget, I'm going to get scale. When they sell, I sell. For example, people use with MongoDB, people use us with a variety of frameworks. like Spring and Hibernate. And like, so it's our duty to make sure customers, our integrations with those frameworks are done well. So if you think about partnerships that help you scale, that will then dictate which ones you want to try to integrate with. If you think you can scale through the hyperscalers, integrate with the marketplace. Integrate with products that the hyperscalers sell with your product. What the hyperscalers like is attach, not just how much consumption of EC2 you drive, it's how much attach can they sell around your product.
Mm-hmm.
So with MongoDB, we drive a heavy attach because we're the center of a stack. The application layer and Mongo usually sit together. Therefore, when we sell our products on AWS or Azure, for example, they're able to attach other products that we don't sell. Like, for example, they could attach AWS Bedrock. They could attach, if you're Microsoft, you can attach Synapse or Power BI. So think of integrations as a way to help you scale. Which partners are going to help you drive attach? When they sell, you can follow, maybe leveraging the marketplaces. That's how I think of integrations.
Really interesting, and I can see, we started this off, Alan, by you saying, hey, build by developers and for developers, and I know you have a lot of great developer programs. So I see that connection, to developers. You're not going to have integrations don't come out of nowhere.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to have the developer community that's excited about building on your platform or integrating with Mongo.
Yeah, I mean, we are, we don't just focus on partnerships that, are brand name partnerships, like we've got those. We've got MongoDB and AWS, for example. I would argue there's, we're one of the best partners of AWS, or MongoDB and Accenture. Like, these are brand name partnerships. But thanks to the team and my team, I would put up against any team in the world. Don't tell the recruiters that, but we have a phenomenal team, and they're working all types of partnerships. Partnerships that help startups. We work with venture capitalists around the world, in Israel and India, to help startups. We work on partnerships, I mentioned, with framework players, where developers who are coding software use a framework. We want them to be able to use that with MongoDB easily. In the AI space, partnerships with LangChain and Llama Index. So when developers are trying to string together a RAG architecture, they don't have to start from scratch. Or resellers around the world, if they're selling in Japan or in the US public sector, we want them to be integrated into our portfolio. So I think, integrations are important, but you don't just have to do brand name partnerships, okay? You really want to think about the developers in our space and what they want, and then good things will come out of it.
So you've been on an incredible journey. I think you mentioned AWS and at reInvent this year, Ruba had MongoDB, big slide up there saying 5x the number of referrals. You guys are connected very tightly with the AWS field and with all the hyperscalers. How do you, has that been part of your strategy to grow, and how are you connecting with how is that those relationships with the cloud providers?
Yeah, I mean, 100% is part of our strategy to have great partnerships with the hyperscalers. Remember, our Atlas product, which is our managed offering, you can run Mongo anywhere. You can run it on premise, you can run it on a mainframe, you can run it for free, you can run it as a managed service. Our product Atlas, we've got OEM partnerships with all the other hyperscalers like Alibaba and IBM Cloud and Rackspace and Ionis and OVH and Naver. I can rattle on forever. These are partnerships we've set up over the last 9 years. But with the hyperscalers themselves, we always first, and Ruba's phenomenal, okay? Thank God AWS has Ruba. She's a great leader. We always wanted to first start with making our product work very well on the hyperscalers platform. So our engineering team, our CTO has done a phenomenal job getting our platform, our CPO and CTO, getting our platform working on the hyperscalers without problems. And we do that. We've got whole teams doing that. Once you get that in place, then it's natural we should be co-selling together, because customers would want Atlas on AWS. Why wouldn't they want us to sell our solution together? Why would they want it to
Right.
be independent? So then it's important you put together, and Ruba's done a phenomenal job, programs that remove friction from the sales teams so that the sales teams lean in and engage versus compete. And Ruba has done that. Selling through the AWS marketplace with low fees, the ability for customers to use their existing AWS commitments to purchase products through the marketplace helps not just acquire new customers together, but also retain renewals and attach other products. So when you get those things, those ingredients together, it first starts with, does your product work well on that platform? Second, does it drive attach of other products that the hyperscalers care about? And third, if the incentives in the program you're in with the hyperscaler line up where there's no friction with the sales teams and it makes it easy for customers to procure, great things can happen. And that's why I believe that you got to ask her why we're on her slide at reInvent. Ruba's, we need more leaders like Ruba out there. She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now,
Fantastic.
you said, hey, I think you gave me a little bit of a softball. Like, how does WorkSpan fit into that? It does. For us to have a great co-sell relationship, we need to show each other the deals we've registered. Because yes, the incentives between the sales teams have to be set up where there's no friction, there's no channel conflict. But on the flip side, if we're not registering deals and showing them to AWS and vice versa, problems can happen. And I think WorkSpan does a great job of sharing that information both ways, sharing enough where our sales teams can have trust, deals can be registered, then we can go work on those pursuits together. And WorkSpan is a good way of connecting CRM systems, and we've got good use of it and a good ROI.
Well, thank you, Alan, and thank you for your trust in WorkSpan. This has been a fantastic conversation, Alan. I really appreciate it, and you shared a lot of really great, insights into partnering and AI and growing partnerships and growing the company through partnerships. Maybe just as a last question, I'll ask you about maybe the personal side. I know you're an investor in the Boston Unity Soccer Club. Tell me a little bit about that. How did that come about, and what do you see? Where do you see that going?
Well, thanks for asking about that. I think for everyone out there, find balance in your life. It took me a while to figure out that work and making money isn't going to make me the person I want to. You need to find balance. And one way we found balance is through sports. And I love sports. My family loves sports. My kids adore soccer. I've coached soccer for 11 years. And we had the opportunity to also help solve what's going on, problems in women's sports. There's a lot of gender bias in women's sports, not enough investment. I think a lot of girls don't have the right pathways to figure out how to get to college through sports. Sports is also a good, some of the best people I've ever met in sales are ex-sports, whether they played in high school or college. So we had the opportunity to invest in the pro team coming to Boston. And it's not just because we love sports, it's also to help women athletes and solve some of the problems in the game. But I'm not here to advertise the women's pro team. What I do tell everyone is find your own balance. Find something like that. Maybe just spend time with your kids, or find a hobby that is more than just about doing your job and making money. And when you find those things, you'll be actually more productive at work. So just find balance, find purpose. My purpose, thank God, one of my family's purpose is to get involved with some of these great initiatives like the women's pro team coming to Boston.
That's awesome. That's such great advice, I think, because you're right. It's if you spend or try and spend 100% of your time, you'll get burned out, and
Yes.
you need to sort of shift your brain and builds different pathways, and it's refreshing to come back then and get, keep your energy and excitement.
Oh, yes.
Alan, thank you so much for taking some time with us today, and this has been fantastic. I really appreciate you sharing so much about partnerships and the success that that you've had over the last 9 years with Mongo, and look forward to continuing to see your growth and career advance.
Thanks, Chip, and thanks to the WorkSpan team for putting this together.
Fantastic. Thank you, Alan. And with that, I'll say thanks everybody for joining another episode of Ecosystem Aces. And for Alan, Chhabra, myself, Chip Rodgers, thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.